Today is Saturday, the 19th day of August 2023, and I would like to say something about a political problem, economic problem, societal problem going on in Africa, specifically Niger. The title says, ECOWAS, please don't invade Niger. Come to think about it, there are geopolitical implications for any purported invasion. If these former Francophone countries feel America, Europe, and neo-colonizing them, re-enslaving them through puppets placed at the helm of affairs as presidents, prime ministers, or so-called Democrats, then that gives a right to the military leaders, the young stars of Africa, the ones that feel agitated, that feel traumatized, feel wounded, emotionally injured, the ones that felt enslaved, that is their inalienable right, is their eternal right to overthrow these puppets and institutionalize homegrown democratic governance that's in line with the culture of the people, that will look after the interests of the indigenous Africans. They have uranium, they have oil, whatever they have in Niger, which France has been exploiting for years, which America, Britain, and the rest of them have been exploiting for years, paying them peanuts. The place you're taking this thing from is in total darkness, poverty, ignorance. Why you, the so-called slave masters, Westerners, have your military zones out there, are taking all this to develop your area, to enlighten your area, while you're pauperizing them? You're taking their natural resources and you're giving them debt in exchange, pollution, environmental disasters, cancers. You're causing conflicts there, ethnic conflicts, instigating conflict among Africans. They're killing themselves. You give them guns to kill themselves while you take their resources. Until suddenly, Mama Africa, Dr. Rekana, that wonderful woman I love so much, a few years ago, gave that lecture that opened our minds, opened the eyes of our minds, and told us that what France is doing is wrong, what Britain is doing is wrong, what America is doing is wrong. Most of us felt agitated, but we felt helpless. But today, to the glory of God, Burkina Faso has risen to take their destiny into their hands. The Burkinabs, yes. Niger just rose recently. Mali has risen. Guinea risen. Senegal. Nigeria might be next. Ghana, President, watch your back as well. The troubled boys, the enslaved in military uniforms, they are not sleeping. Some of us have gone sleepless over this neocolonialism. I'm a Democrat. I'm for liberalism. I'm for integrity. I'm for moral authority. But not to the detriment of the indigenous. Patrice Lumumba spoke. You assassinated him. Kwame Nkrumah talked. You took him out. No? You tried a lot to take what's his name, Robert Mugabe out. But to the glory of God, that one lived up to old age. Gaddafi wanted to unite Africa. You took him out. You neutralized him with so-called purported allegations and falsifications. Now our eyes are open. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. NATO is fighting Russia. The proxy war between NATO and Russia is being put on the head of Ukraine. Poor dear Ukrainians. The two elephants are fighting that the grass. I've written books, given lectures, gone to universities, traveled to different countries, trying to enlighten people. But are African listening? So what am I saying? India, Russia, and China recent interest in African resources has given birth to so many coups. And the former colonial masters, especially Europeans, Americans are secondary colonial masters, but the primary ones are Europeans. They are not giving up because they feel their source of livelihood has been threatened. That's why they're instigating wars, barbarism, terrorism, killings, and all those things, just to jeopardize and destroy internal security, internal environment of these African countries. Because as long as there's wars, they continue stealing the resources. As long as there's conflict, social destabilization, they continue taking the resources. Now, in as much as I'm against overthrowing of governments, what is happening in Niger now is a counter to the existential threat facing the people. ECOWAS, please don't invade Niger. The problem in Niger is an internal problem and needs African solutions. Don't fight the proxy wars of Westerners on your own soil. And Nigeria, this goes to you. We know the puppet out there now, not really strongly legitimized, still standing on shaky legs until the tribunal or the courts, gives their so-called final verdict. What we are saying is, don't invade Niger. Nigerians are our brothers. And we cannot allow Westerners, Americans, and Europeans to come and instigate us to kill ourselves over our own resources. We kill ourselves while they take our uranium, our oil, our bitumen, gold, diamond, all to develop their areas. Look at the mess they made in Libya. I met one of the actors recently, one-on-one, one of the former prime ministers. And I was telling him face to face, sir, what you people did is very wrong. I respect your credibility and integrity, but you conspire with George Bush to go there and mess up the place. We know, well, that war was based on false identities, based on fallacies. And he said, yes, I accept. With some Western leaders here, prime ministers and presidents, my different interactions and all those things. So some of them knew that what they've done is wrong. But a tree cannot make a forest. What we are saying is institutionalized slavery, coordinated slavery, long cherished, mapped up. They plan it ahead, years, decades to come. So whoever comes in, fits into the big equation to continue, their long cherished neocolonialism. They cannot give up. To some of us, we think Westerners are wicked. No, they're not necessarily wicked. Their existence depends on what they take from Africa. Example now, Russia is fighting with NATO countries, whatever it's called in that Ukraine. Russia threatening to cut off their gas and the rest of them. Nigeria, gas is too much there. Westerners need it. Imagine you cut off their gas, you cut off the uranium. How would they sustain their nuclear plants? How would they sustain themselves in the winter? You cut it, or what? In the winter come here, cold will kill them. They will die off. So in order to continue existing, they need to do whatever they can to see that they continue taking those resources by fire, by force. So most of the things they need to power their aeroplanes, their cell phones, their computers, and all those things are cheaply sourced from Africa. But ironically, most of these Westerners are very, very wicked. They devalue your local currency, your national currencies, so they can take these resources for next to nothing. They print your currencies. And they make you owe them in their foreign currencies, euros and dollars and pounds. So that if you talk too much, they just go to their machines, they print more money, and they give to you. But they won't let themselves owe you in your own currencies. Think about it. In my latest book, thank you, Britain. My latest book, I say slaves owe in foreign currencies. The day we stop making euro, dollar, and pounds global currencies, that's the day the rest of the world will get their spiritual, emotional, intellectual liberty and financial liberty. Yes, the dollarization, euroization, and poundization, of the global currency actually puts a grip on the neck of global economy. Westerners are smart. Think about this. Look at the mess in Syria. America and Russia again. Syria is two elephants fighting. Syria is the grass that's suffering. Look at the mess in Libya. Italy, France, UK, and America, stubborn interest. What did they do? They made sure that they eliminated Gaddafi. Today, Libya is like a mockery of her former self. They want to bring that theater of war to Nigeria now. Nigeria is relatively destabilized. Terrorism ravaging the north. Secessionists are in the east. The ritualists are taking over the west. Middle belt is almost an axis of evil because terrorists are having field day. Our helicopters, military helicopter, private, family men in uniform have been destroyed with lesser accountability. Billions of dollars and pounds are budgeted for military, budget, military expenses. But few people at the apex of leadership, the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, the police, they make sure that they appropriate this, they embezzle them. While the real boys, the real gallant soldiers in the war front are the ones suffering it. They don't even give them enough food. They don't look after them. They are ill-equipped. It hurts me to see this kind of thing happening. Before you think about going to invade Niger, remember some of the people from Nigeria, some of the people from Ghana, some of the people from all these other 15 ECOWAS countries are residing in these countries. They're in Burkina Faso, Nigerians, Ghanaians, and other ECOWAS people that are going to invade. Remember, your people are in Burkina Faso, they're in Mali, they're Ivory Coast, they're in Niger. So once you throw the first bomb, those ones there are the first targets. These indigenous will go looking for them, slaughtering them. Whether you call them Ivorians, Nigerians, Nigerians, Senegalese, Ghanaians, Gambians, whatever you call them, Liberians, whatever you call them, Sierra Leoneans, remember they are all Africans. They are our blood. They are children of the same mother, the same father. They are Africans. In one of my books, I said something. When the Westerners are not killing us themselves, they use us to kill us. They use Africans to kill Africans. That's why I think we are self-predatory. What do we get from this predation? Why don't we reason as we believe? They brought their Islam and Christianity to us. They sold religion to us. Why they hid their science from us? Our children are taught to recite and do incantations. Why their own children are taught to investigate and research? Who did this to us Africans? Professor Lumumba has been saying his own. Arikana has been saying his own. David Hundein has been talking and shouting there. Who listens? Nnamdi Kanu shouted. You picked him up, you put him into gallows. These are the voices of conscience. The voices, authoritative voices that speaks truth to authority. But you prefer to destroy your best and enthrone your worst. You have intellectuals in Nigeria, powerful people that could even, economists, high-flying people, people that are emotionally intelligent, present in mind, that could turn Africa's economy, politics, and military around, scientific research and investors around. But what do? We choose to chase them away and enthrone buffons. It's terrible. Kleptocrats, maniacs, racists, puppets, people that don't care about the fundamental ethics of humanity, people that don't care about legality. We are all told that Bazoum was removed because he's a puppet to France, he's a puppet to Westerners. How can you say you oversee a country while your people are being enslaved? Look at the children, their fingers are all rotting. They're afflicted with cancer and all those things, not genetic, but acquired from these mice and all those things. France takes all this Arriva, whatever they call it. They're taking all these resources over to their area, taking all the money. Why the real people that own this uranium, all those, they don't have electricity. They're not adequately remunerated. So if the military taking over in Niger, we make them begin to get real remuneration, real profit for their natural resources, then so be it. I want again, ECOWAS, don't invade the Niger. Think about your people in diaspora in these countries. You're endangering their lives. And remember, Nigeria, almost half of northern Nigeria have family relationship with Nigerians. So are you trying to tell family to fight families? They will start the slaughtering from there. I want again, just the way I want Russia, when this Ukrainian conflict is about to start, I say go for dialogue. But Ukrainians didn't listen. Russia didn't listen. Ukraine was listening to the Westerners. They're listening to Europeans, listening to Britain and America. What is happening today? Had it mean they've gone for dialogue, thousands of souls will have been saved. Millions worth of properties, dollars, pounds, and euros will have been protected. But today people are dying. Millions are being displaced. And the war is not even stopping. I see it going into nuclear. And any day it goes into nuclear, their civilization will destroy as we know it. These angry wars of bitterness, envy, jealousy, backbiting, hatred, and ignorance, is now being extended to Africa. Ghana, be careful, beware. Ghana, you that think you stand, beware lest you fall. I see your Minister of Defense bragging. No. Think about the geopolitical implications. Think about the impacts of neocolonialism. Think about the slavery. We were once the harbor, the port, till they took our people away. We are still angry at slavery, what our forefathers did out of ignorance. You sold your own people to Westerners, who used them to catch fish, who raped them, who destroyed them. Until today, Caribbeans are still suffering the implications of slavery. You alienated them. You took them out of their homeland, princes and princesses, and you sold them to foreigners. Very wicked, diabolic, evil, deadly people. Look at what they're doing to Caribbeans. And you're not still repenting. You still permitted these Westerners to come into your land with the name of excuse of democracy, to recolonize you, to enslave you. Instead of thinking about how to bring your brothers in Caribbean, Haiti, Latin America, go and bring them all home. We think about how to bring them, to reintegrate them into Africa, give them land to build. Let them come with their natural resources. Whether they have, they don't have, let them come with their mental resources. We accommodate them. Create room for them. Because we are one or none. We are the same blood. Genetically, biologically, we are the same. It hurts my life when I see what Caribbeans are being put through. Look at how they tortured them in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Honduras. Look at what they're doing them in Guatemala. Look at the torture that passing through in Brazil. The pains, the agonies. But look what they did to them in America, what they did to them, what they're doing to them in Britain here. The best way we could have apologized is to reintegrate the survivors, the offspring of these so-called slaves. Bring them back. Let them return in masses. Bring them back. Bring them back. Of course, the voice of silence is speaking, but those who only listen with the ears hears nothing. I am against the invasion, military invasion of Niger by ECOWAS. And I will do whatever is in my power to stop it. We are having meetings, series of meetings, phone calls and conversations. Africans unite and have a common currency, have common border, have common political society. Shun religionism and the diabolism associated with it. Think about science. Think about social integration. Think about harmonization. Think about economics, physiognomy, anatomy. Think about the history of our mentality. Think about the evolution of consciousness. How did we get there? Who put us in this cage? Who put us in this mess? Westerners. Remember the Berlin Conference? They gathered themselves on how to come and destroy us, sell us, partition us. Germans are involved. British are involved. The French are involved. Italians were involved. Belgium, they were involved. The Belgians. All the Austrians, all this would conspire to destroy us because they depend on our resources. And today, you idiots, so-called heads of state in Africa, military chiefs, they want to now incite you to go and fight your own brothers. They will supply you weapons to go and kill one another so that they can come and take your resources. Are you daft? Are you under a curse? Receive deliverance from this colonial mentality. You think you're nobody without Western acceptance. Who told you they're superior to you? Rise up, children of Africa. Rise up and defend your glory. The evil in us is with us. It's in our mindset, in our mentality. Except we refine our brain, we remain in pain. And as long as we remain in pain, it will be the Westerners' game. Only us can turn our obstacles into miracles. Yes. Being born a black man is not a liability. And living as a black man is not a disability. We need to rise up and defend our glory. Enough is enough. Don't invade Niger. ECOWAS, don't. If you do, you will regret it. And that will be to eternal destabilization. I prefer dialogue. Go and have dialogue with the so-called coup plotters. Don't allow America and Europe push you into bombing Niger, because you end up making that place, a mortuary. You make it a burial ground. For the Nigerians I know are stubborn people, and they are gallant people, they are heroes, they are strong people. They will fight to the last man. Let them settle their problems. And remember, Burkina Faso will support them, Guinea will support them, Mali will support them. So it's going to be like a continental war. They're going to put Africa into war. And Nigeria is going to be the central target. Once this war starts, some parts of Nigeria will not agree with the war. It will be an opportunity for them to separate. You might just want to go and start this war now. The little resources we have in Nigeria now. The Igbo said they want to go. Yoruba said they want to go. Northerners, Hausa and Fulani said they want to go. The who make up the Nigeria. Other tribes are minority. You're going to fight, the little crack in other people's homes. Why you leave the gully erosion, the gully in your own place? The ditch in your own place has not been filled. You want to go and fight, to patch up the crack in other people's place. Diplomacy, dialogue, and all those things. See, these are the solutions to this. I am against any power, any authority, any principality that want to invade any African country in the name of democracy. All we need is how do we get these intercontinental friends or trading countries to treat us as equals. Take our resources, but pay adequately for it. Because you're making millions through our cocoa, through our diamond, through our bitumen. You're making millions through our uranium, through our plutonium. You're making millions through our resources. Because almost every resource you're using for humanitarian development, universal development, actual development, scientific development is in Africa. So these are the things we need to do. Russia is trying to treat us relatively as equals. China is trying to do that. Indians are trying to do that. We've tested the Westerners. We trusted them and they failed us. So let us now go out and see if we can trust the Chinese, trust the Russians, trust the Indians, even the Pakistanis, trust them. Bangladesh, bring them in, bring them on board. They need our resources as well. Let there be fair trade. Westerners are using IMF to grip us. They want to strangulate Africa's economy. Remember the thief from our miseries. Rise up. When you talk, they want to assassinate you. The glory of Africa remains folly. As long as the leaders remain intellectually silly, as long as they remain intellectually absent, they may never have emotional intelligence to control the resources Africa is endowed with. Our gain is in our brain. Our pain is in our disdain. Enough of political complacence. Rise up. I support them. I support Mali. I support Niger. I support Burkina Faso. I support those gallant men and women who chose to say enough is enough and they want to take their destinies in their own hands. I support Burkina Faso. I support Senegal. I support the former Francophone countries that listen to Dr. Arikan and say enough is enough. We shall no longer be slaves to France, and the West. We can rise up. It may take us extra years, but we have to build our foundation and now, produce what we consume and consume what we produce. Imagine if Africa goes up the rest of the world and begin to buy and sell among ourselves. Just do the way China did. Imagine what will become of us the next 10, 15 years. They're talking about Dubai. What is Dubai? If there's effective management in Africa, Dubai will be like a boy squad after us. But because these people, they open doors for these plutocrats, few elites to steal all the millions from Africa, and they bring it over to them, and they seize them. Make it a law that no African prime minister will have a foreign account, and you will see what happens. Whatever you get, keep it in Africa. Develop Africa. People are still dying from preventable diseases, malaria. Any small thing they do, they get their laws that these diplomats and all these leaders, they will come over here. They will come to the West to get hospital, treatment. The day you stop that, remove that from your law, they'll be forced to be first class work, first world class working hospitals in Africa. You're building mansions, you're flying private jets. There's no clinic in your village. Shame on you. There's no clean pipe or bomb water in your village. Shame on no pliable roads. Shame on you. No electricity. Malaria is still killing you people. And you're not here showing off their diamond and gold. Shame on you. Your shame, they shame me. You so-called African celebrity that choose to keep silent in the face of this tyranny. Now, I want to talk a little about these coup plotters. Treasonable felony. That's the height of injustice to so-called Western diplomats. But let it be. If these felons are there to liberate us from your chains of slavery, to whom much is given, much is expected. A man comes into your home, rapes your wife, just your children to death. What do? You pick up something and break his head. You die once. Westerners have been raping us. They have been enslaving us. They've been torturing, they've been mocking us. They treat us as nobodies. And we tolerate this for hundreds and hundreds of years. And now the time has come. With the help of Russia, with the help of China, with the help of India, and with their cooperation, Africans can take a stand. And I want to suggest something again, like I said in my 2-3 former books. As Africa will remain a mockery of herself until the day Africa chose to invest in nuclear armament, nuclear for electric generation. The day we chose to see the advantage of nuclear weapons possession, that's the day Westerners will respect us. Of course, they may never let us have them, because the day we have them, it will be a deterrent to them. Look at what Israel is doing in Palestine to Palestinians. Look at what Russia is doing. Can the West take off? They won't fight them, because these guys have what they have. Look at what's happening in India and Pakistan. Look at what's happening in China. Look at what's even North Korea. Can they go there and mess up? No. Because these guys have seen what makes others tick militarily, and they possess them. Any day Westerners allow Iran to possess nuclear weapons, believe me, Middle East will be unsettled, and Westerners will learn to respect them. But of course, they'll do not to let them have them. This is geopolitics. Let's think about the implications. As long as you're their foot match, they are happy. Westerners, why don't you have a conscience? Why don't you have a conscience? You brought Christianity to us. You preach civility to us. You preach democracy to us. But these are your excuses to enslave us. Why don't you practice what you preach? If you speak the time you're a terrorist. Their own people that die in this war, they see them as heroes. Our own people that die, they see them as terrorists. Thank God for Russia. Thank God for the Chinese. Thank God for Indians and Pakistanis. Thank God for Africans that that are beginning to reason, that are beginning to read books, that are beginning to understand the geopolitical implications, of being human in existing in this 21st century. So what I'm saying is, before you ECOWAS even think of dream of going into putting a foot in Niger, remember your people are there. They are going to be the first victims. Every Nigerian in all these countries is endangered by this your communique held released in Ghana a few hours ago. You say you made final preparation to go and invade. Americans and Westerners will give you, and other Westerners will give you arms and ammunition to go and destroy your people. So that you put another puppet there. The puppet that will let them to be taking your natural resources for free. Why is Niger an exception? Why didn't they intervene in Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and other countries when they coup plots in two places? Because they have permanent special their resources, what they need for sustenance is in that place, is in Niger. Reason as you believe. I'm not telling you not to take uranium, not to take plutonium, not to take whatever they want to take, but pay the right price for it. Make it competitive. China wants part of it, Russia wants part of it. The gas you're killing for now, Russia was supplying the gas and still doing that. Uranium and all those, Russia is still supplying. But now, because of your problems with Russia, you feel that Africa have those things in abundance. You want this to get problem there so that you cannot start taking them again. We say no. No. If it takes the last military man standing to defend the resources, let it be. And remember, Westerners, no one has monopoly over violence. All these things you're doing, there'll be a day of retribution. Remember, North Korea has risen. India has risen in nuclear armament. Pakistan has risen. South Africa will soon rise in nuclear armament. Nigeria will soon rise. And all these things you're doing with the help of Russia and China and in India, all of these African countries will rise with their own nuclear. That day, the world will be unsafe for Westerners to rule. Time will come when the so-called oppressors will become the footmats. And the oppressees will become oppressors. Because you English people taught us that what goes around comes around. Remember Kamic cosmology. We reap what we sow. We reap what we sow. Galatians 6, 7, and 8. Let me take a look from your Bible. Say, God cannot be mocked. Whatever a man sows, he reaps. You're bringing atheism to us now. You make us live our native ways of worshiping Almighty God. You told us that Christianity and Islam is the best. But the people at the apex of this leadership are the real slave masters. What do you think happens when imams, rabbis, and chief priests, pastors, and bishops are blessing wars of attrition, wars of colonialism, wars of slavery? Don't you have bishops in France? Don't you have bishops in UK? Don't you have bishops in America? What are they telling their governments? Don't you have them in Italy? Don't you have them at the Vatican? What are they telling their leaderships that goes out there to oppress our people? Look at our people dying in the Mediterranean Sea. I passed through that Mediterranean Sea. I was enslaved coming to Europe. I passed through the ship. I was the last person that was put out of that ship in 2002, December 25th. Yes. My roommate died drowned in the sea. You don't know what it means like when you're inside that sea. Anywhere you see is water. Yet you are coming from the land of milk and honey. Because of the instability, because of the political problems Westerners planted in those countries. Look at this 60-something census in Nigeria. Who manipulated it? Britain. Look at the Biafran war. Who manipulated it? Britain. Just to take our resources. The ship blockade, the hunger that killed over 3 million Biafran children. We know about all those systems. Assassination, political hitmen. If you speak, they call you, they'll call you a racist. They'll call you a terrorist. Time has come when Africans need to start reasoning as we believe. We've written books, we publish them, widely sold and all those things. But this time has come to speak truth to authority. ECOWAS, organize yourselves. Wake up and look up. Don't mess up. You belong to the top. Economic Community of West African States. African Union, wake up. If you allow Westerners to manipulate you into a proxy war, you will regret it. Mark today's date, 19th of August, 2023. I'm speaking that to you from London. Mark today's date. If you permit this war, you will regret it. Ukrainians are regretting today. Syrians are regretting. Libyans are regretting. If you permit this war, that's going to destabilize you, make you brother fight against sisters, brothers kill brothers, in-laws fight against their sons, brother-in-law, you're going to regret it. In Africa, we are one or none. Gradually, we are beginning to stabilize, but they've come with their confusion. We've been pumping the balloon of glory, balloon of unity. Now they came again. They came again with their needle of the stabilization. They want to use their evil needle to pierce that balloon again so that we explode again. We'll start from square one. It may take you years to pump this balloon, but a single pierce of the slavish and neocolonial needle will destroy it. Listen to that brother in America, Joseph. Listen to the analysis. Listen to David Hundeyin. Listen to Moyiwa. Is that one out there? Listen to people like this. These are voice of reasons. Listen to intelligent people. Listen to that Professor Lumumba. Listen to him. Listen to Dr. Arikana. Listen to people like us. These are people that think outside the box. People that have your interest at heart. People that are telling, yes, your resources is for your own usage, for your own maintenance, social maintenance. You need to have functional hospitals, functional trains. You need to have functional military. You need to have functional police, well remunerated. Not keeping those impoverished policemen on the road, taking bribes and all those things. You need to pay them well. You need to literally equip our people with modern gadgets so the terrorists to stop killing them. People you're killing, these military army soldiers, they are people's husbands and wives. They are people's children. They are people's uncles, nieces and nephews and cousins. How long shall Africa be destabilized in the name of counter-terrorism? Leave these terrorists. Let us fight them ourselves. We can. We can fight them. Westerners, stay away for the moment. We can fight them. We take care of them. If that man, Bozon, whatever you call him in Niger, is a puppet, then get rid of him. Remove him. Put people that want to develop the country. Put economics, experts. Put people that are intelligent, educated people. Let the doctor be in charge of the Ministry of Health. Let the economists be in charge of the economy of the country. Let the political analysts or political scientists be in charge of the politics of the country. Yes. Put the right people at the right places. Let the military go back to the barracks for security and all those things. That's their own area of expertise. Let people that are into psychology, people that have intelligence, let them be in charge of internal security and all those things. Engineers, put them in aeronautic and mechanical engineering, all those things, aerospace engineering. Let them develop the plane. Computer scientists, put them to the labs. People that are into microbiology, put them in the labs. Let them begin to discover, make discoveries, equip them, mobilize them, incentivize them. Let them begin to produce what we need to take care of the society. This is my problem with Africa. Look at some of us are excelling in the Western world. We are almost carrying the economy on our shoulders. But Africa, where we are coming from, is still so backward, so destabilized. What can we do about all these things? Reason as you believe, Africa. Reason as you believe. Enough of this destabilization. India is willing to do business with us. Russia is willing to do business with us. China is willing to do business with us. Even the Koreans, Japan, let us test them as well. Let's try them. Westerners have failed us. Don't invade Niger. Let us settle this with what? Dialogue. Nigeria, be careful. You that think you stand, lest you fall. Nigeria, you're going to be, a laughing stock among civilized nations. Between now and the next 25 years, if you don't get your political consciousness right, if you don't get economy stabilized, you're going to be a laughing stock in the next 25 years. Mark this word today. If Nigeria doesn't get its her pedigree right, if Nigeria doesn't put right in the right place, if Nigeria doesn't remove this puppetry, this electionary manipulations, Nigeria, if at all is in the next 25 years, Nigeria will be a laughing stock of nations. A word is enough for the wise. I want us to understand the geopolitical implications of these proxy wars instigated by the West, supported by Western equipments for our own internal destabilization. Can't France do without milking these former Francophone countries dry? This thing they do in Africa, will they tolerate it in their place? You're stealing their money, you're stealing their resources, you're stealing their people. Their children are dying in the Mediterranean seas. You don't care. Thousands of Africans die is not in the news. One European die is a headline news. And look at BBC, their puppets. Read my current book. It's what I've written about BBC and all those things, People that are supposed to be the conscience of the nation can now be used as agents of destabilization. You see them having selective outrage in their news coverage. It's a Western person, it's like, so. Then if it's Africa, it doesn't matter. Kill one Israeli is in the world news. Kill 30,000 Palestinians, it doesn't matter. It's a normal thing. They've been killed since nobody does anything to them. I'm asking, is Israeli life more important than Palestinian life? Is a British life more important than Nigerian life? Is American life more important than Senegalese life? I'm asking. Is Japanese life more important than Ivorian life? The same blood flowing in our veins. We belong to the same human race. Why can't we have emotional intelligence to understand the ethics of egalitarianism, humanitarianism? Let us treat others fairly. Treat them as you want them to treat you. What the sense of diplomacy? If it's filled with hypocrisy, deception, foolery, and all those things, backbiting, hatred, vengeance, insolence, and arrogance. Think about all these things. You, the pathfinders of civilized 21st century, emotional intelligence and consciousness. Think about all this. Before I stop, I want to say something. ECOWAS don't invade Niger. And if you do, we, the youths, Africans, both the ones in diaspora and the ones at home, will rise against you. If you kill one of us, you kill all of us. If you save one of us, you save all of us. And if you fight one of us, you are fighting all of us. Every African woman is my mother. Every African man is my father. Every African daughter is my sister. Every African man is my brother. Nature is overall. We are the children of God. Stop this kind of Africans. We are one or none. Here, I rest my case. No more wars. We want science. We want investment. We want social stabilization. We want peace. We want love. We want to serve our Almighty God in total spirit. We want to live in peace. That's all we want. We don't want wars. Thank you. Thank you.